Alright, so I don't know if you guys seen my video about making the little platform out there for the dog that's got the holes in it and everything, so it can be washed out easy for pee and poop and that kind of stuff. But I'll link to that video in the description. But basically, this is the start of the doghouse, and yes, I am building it out of fence pickets. Like I said in the last video, where I was building that, I mean, you can do so much stuff with fence pickets. And basically, this is the base. It is 29 inches deep by about 39 and a half wide. And I will actually be attaching the walls from the outside, from out here. So I will, basically the dog will be able to utilize all that space. It's a German Shepherd. It's a female. She's very small right now. This would be a huge house for her. She'll obviously grow into it. I don't know how big she's gonna get, but this should be definitely a sufficient house. I mean, the main thing that we have this for right now, the yard is closed in, but basically the puppy's still small, and I live, on the edge of a bunch of woods and stuff. So I mean, I do have a 6-foot deer fence basically going around the yard, but occasionally there can be coyotes out there in the woods, and they can, if they really want to, they can clear 6-foot fence. So basically, I just wanted to have another cage for the dog to be able to stay in for right now, until she's big enough to, once she hits a certain size and certain age, and she can just roam the yard and stay out here. We'll still have this with the doghouse and all that, but the gate will just stay open. But like I said, once she hits a certain age and a certain size, coyote won't be a match for her. So, but in the meantime, while she's still small, that's why we're gonna have to utilize this this system here. So basically, this is the beginning of the house. I'll go ahead and show you when I get the sides going. And I'm basically gonna use fence pickets for the sides as well. I may end up doing this kind of like a board and batten. I don't know if I got any 1x2 right now. If not, I may have to go to the hardware store and pick that up and finish this on another day, or at least finish that part of it. That way it'll look, because fence pickets, these boards are not, these particular boards are not really very wet right now. They are pretty dry, so hopefully they've done a lot of their shrinking already and not too much more. But either way, with that being the case, if the wood is going to dry out and shrink a little bit more, the 1x2 will basically cover that, cover the cracks, make it look whole and seal it up and all that kind of stuff. But I'll show you what I'm talking about, once I get to that point. So all right, well, stay tuned. Okay, just a little quick update here with some pointers real quick for anybody that's trying to do this. So this, I basically cut these out. There's the base over there of the floor. Like I said, I'm going to attach this wall, this is going to be the front wall, to the bottom there, which is a 2x4 that those pieces of picket are sitting on. So the reason I did this like this though and laid it out right here is, number one, that gives me a nice surface to butt everything up to try to straighten all this out. Because basically, even though, like, say this is going to go up, that will be screwed into there, but there will be a 2x4 going across the top of here to basically hold all the top together. So if you lay these out, if you've never worked with fence pickets before, it's good to go ahead and lay these out, because sometimes, it's just like anything else. I mean, it's really really almost like rough cut lumber. I mean, it's not like super rough, but it's definitely not perfect. So sometimes you might have a little bend, or a little you know, just like I said, some imperfection or something like that. And this allows you to basically lay it down and butt them all together to just basically get them as tight as you can. And like literally, you know, like maybe you got these two laid out and you might go to put this one up to it and try to push it together, and you see it's got like a decent sized gap on this end or something, and then maybe if you just take that board and flip it over and push it up against it, it might fit perfectly, you know, or a lot better. And that's just really how pickets work. So this allows you to kind of sit here and play with it to get the best configuration you can, so that you can go ahead and put them together before you actually bolt them together with your 2x4 here. And you know, and like I said, these boards are pretty dry. That one's actually wet over there. That one I had to get from outside. But these are pretty dry. They may, you know, probably will still shrink some. So like I said, I'll end up, you know, probably end up doing like a board and batten thing with 1x2 on the outside. But yeah, so that's basically how you want to do your wall. You know, lay it down on a surface first, so you can basically line up your edges, and then also, you know, just see how your boards are going to go together. Because like I said, we're working with these pickets, they're not always straight, so you want to just kind of get an idea of what you're working with. You know, move the pieces around, flip them over, do whatever you got to do to get the best configuration. So all right, well, stay tuned. Okay, just a real quick update. I got the front and the back walls on, and the only thing I'm gonna have to do, you know, and they're screwed from the bottom there, is I am going to have to put 2x4 across here. And the only reason is, my original intention was to actually put the 2x4 under here and then do the same thing as I did on the front and the back, and just, you know, just butt up to it at the bottom there, bolt them on. I do have these supports going across here that that the pickets will be able to bolt to or screw to. But unfortunately, when I did this, I guess I wasn't thinking. So, you know, these pickets are 72 inches. So basically I cut the front 37, and so that leaves for the backs 35 inches. Well, the problem is I don't want to waste a bunch of pickets. So in order for me to be able to hit this height from down there by screwing in at the bottom, you know, putting a 2x4 across the bottom outside, and being able to screw in from the bottom, a couple of these first pickets are going to have to be 37, which is going to leave 35. And those 35-inch pieces are, you know, they won't reach anywhere in here, going from the ground. The only place they would reach is at the very end. So basically, you know, I would end up with some 35-inch pickets, and I don't that I really don't have a use for, and I don't, you know, I just don't want to waste that lumber. So the way I'm going to remedy that is just by actually putting the 2x4 on the inside here, and then I can just cut them at 36. I can just basically cut the pickets in half, and that'll give me more than enough to be able to get up here to where I need to get to all the way across. So that way I'm not actually wasting any lumber. Unfortunately, by putting one on the inside there and one on the inside over there, you know, I mean, I'm not really losing I'm losing 3 inches at the very bottom. But again, this thing is 39 inches or 40 inches, something like that wide. So I don't think it's going to be a huge issue for the dog. But yeah, so that's what I got to do in order to remedy that. But this is basically what it is so far. That's the front, that's the back. I don't know if let me get over here and see if I can get over to the side to where you can see the height difference. Yeah, so there you go. I'm obviously on the front over here. I'm gonna, you know, cut the hole for the dog to enter and all that kind of stuff. But yep, but that's where I'm at right now, so stay tuned. Okay, just kind of want to show you how I'm doing the side here. So basically I went ahead and cut my pickets, and you know, obviously they're all taller than what they need to be, which is fine. What I did do at the bottom, I just went ahead and stood up a 2x4 there, and that way they'd have something to sit on. I did go ahead and screw it in temporarily, so it'll stay, and basically I'm going to number these pickets so I remember the order. But really all I'm going to do, let's see, want to use something, you know, I could take, these are the actual roof pieces. I could just go ahead and take one of these and lay it up there like that, and that probably would probably be fine, because it's not like a terribly long span. There's no weight on it or anything like that. But just to you know, just to kind of, well, no, actually, you know, I was going to use a 2x4 just so that it would be less likely to possibly bow down. But you know, even the 2x4 itself could be bent, so I might as really, now that I think about it, might as well just go ahead and place one of these boards over here, and I'll just, what is holding that back? Oh, so that's not, I got a little spot in there. Need to just, it's sticking out just a hair of the 2x4 going across here. I'll just end up taking that off with the saw. Not a huge deal, but I can see that it's definitely keeping that out. The rest of them look real good there. So basically all I'm going to do though, and so what I decided to do is, there's 7 pickets going across the front and the back. I'm actually going to put 8 pickets on top though, so I'm going to end up you know, figuring out where the middle is, divide that, and then that way it will allow the last picket to have overhang. And I kind of didn't think about that when I first did this, but again, it's not a, you know, I mean, literally I'm building this on the fly. I didn't make any plans or anything like that. So, but like I said, it's not a huge issue. What I'll end up doing is just basically adding another picket, and so it's roughly 5.5 inches. So that should give me about a 2 3/4 inch overhang, you know, on each side once I divide the difference. And you know, and that should be good. But basically, in order to figure out how I'm going to cut these, because since I'm going to have overhang, these need to be cut under the piece for the roof. So, and you know, you could probably just take your measurements from one end to the other and, you know, draw a line across or whatever, but I feel like this is a lot easier. So basically all I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to get under here with my pencil. You know, I'm going to hold this thing pretty tight. I mean, if I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to sag or bow or anything, actually I can see this piece is kind of damaged a little right there, so that's probably not going to be a good one. But just, you know, I'm not going to do it right on camera anyways, but that's basically how I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a good piece right here. Then I'm going to make sure that it's nice and tight up against all of them. And then basically I'm just going to draw my line straight across. And then however the line comes on each picket, you know, and what I did do, I'll go ahead and explain to you over here what I did. You know, I told you I put the 2x4 down there. On this first picket, I did go ahead and put one screw up here and one screw down here. That way this whole picket can be used to be, you know, basically pushed against, so I can push all the rest of them this way. All the rest of them only just have one screw up here, and I just basically pushed the bottom over as far as I could get it. So, you know, each one has a screw, and then that's it. So only the first one has 2. That makes them real easy to remove, so that once I've scribed the line on it, I can take them off, cut them, put them back, and then they'll be the height that they need to be. So that's basically how I'm going to do that. Alright, so what I got here for my board and batten, instead of going and buying 1x2, 8 foot 1x2, I just decided to take a few pickets. I actually sawed up 3 pickets right here on the table saw at about 1 inch. So normal 1x2 is 3/4 of an inch thick by 1.5 inches wide. This is basically a 1/2 inch thick by 1 inch wide, and it's more than sufficient to cover the cracks on these, but considerably less expensive, considering I sawed up 3 pickets, which is about $6, and I have more than enough to do all the cracks plus the corners, everything. And like I said, it costs about $6, whereas 1x2, an 8-foot stick of 1x2 currently in March 2024 is almost $3 just for one. Or maybe, yeah, it's like $2.88 I think for just one of them. So and it would have taken, I think it would have taken almost the whole 10-pack, because the back side's 35, the front side's 37. So to do, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To do those 6, that's going to be 6 sticks just right there, because by the time you've cut 35 and 37, that's 6 feet, you're only going to have a 2-foot piece left. I mean, you could utilize that if you wanted to, but I just I didn't want to be piecing stuff together. I just want a solid piece from the bottom to the top. So really that 2-foot piece extra on 6 of them wouldn't really do me a lot of good, unless I just wanted to use it for maybe some trim up under here. I wouldn't mind piecing together some trim up under here or something once the roof is on. Just I mean, because it's pretty much out of sight anyways. It would just be really cosmetic for the most part. So I guess piecing it together up there wouldn't be too bad. But then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 on this side could be cut evenly. You could take 6 foot basically and cut it in half and get 1 for each side, because none of these are above 36 inches, because whereas the back goes all the way down, these start up here right on this 2x4. So none of these are over 36. So, but again, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So I mean, realistically, I would need probably, yeah, so it would be over a whole 10-pack, probably 11 of them, to do it, with whole pieces. And that would be, roughly over $30, probably close to 33. And but instead I sawed up 3 pickets that will do the exact same thing, look just as good, for $6. So definitely a cost saver there. And I'm gonna go ahead and get these cut up and get them on there. So just wanted to give a quick update. I did get all these on. I had plenty to go all the way around. It's pretty wet out here today. It's kind of raining and stuff. I went around the opening and stuff as well, just to, I guess, be kind of decorative. And that those pieces are easily removed if I ever need to cut that hole bigger. As she gets older, I'm not sure how big she's gonna get, but got them all the way around. Just used a brad nailer with 1-inch galvanized brad nails, and got them on the back there as well. So I had an old so I did put the ceiling on, or the roof. I did use pickets. It does provide an overhang here. I could probably put maybe a 2x4 across there or something to screw that down to stabilize that, and I may do that before I shingle this all the way. But I did have an old bundle of shingles laying around. I know maybe not everybody has that. I didn't even purchase them. They were actually still here when we purchased the house. My wife was going to throw them away, and I was like, no, don't throw that away, you know, we'll find something to use for it. And so that's going to be perfect for this. But and yeah, I realize I don't have the tar paper or whatever under it, but I mean, it's you know, it's just a doghouse. I mean, it's not, and I don't believe, you know, I think if you put these on correctly, they shouldn't leak. I mean, you know, nobody's going to be up here walking on this or anything like that. So but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get those on, and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so we're done. I gotta get, the only thing I gotta get left is like a piece of drip edge for right here. Got the shingles all on. Basically got everything done. So to kind of recap here, it is this thing is about 29, you know, I'm talking like the actual inside, like the living space. It's about 29 inches deep. It's about 39.5 inches wide. At the short end, which is the back there, it's about 31 inches tall. So I mean, it can house a pretty good sized dog. I don't think I'll ever, you know, I think it's as big as she gets. I think this will be fine for a doghouse. And basically I ended up I'll put the dimensions in the description, but also I ended up, if I recall, let's see, it was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 pickets there, 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 plus the 3 that I chopped up to make these pieces. So it was about 23, probably about 23, maybe 24 pickets at $2 a piece. So that's 40, you know, we'll say $46, $48. But just round it up to 50 bucks for that. I believe I used a total of about 4 2x4s, and you figure they're, you know, if you get, you don't really have to get the I mean, you could get the kind of second grade ones for like $3 a piece. I didn't use pressure treated on the inside because it's not really going to have a lot of contact. You know, the ones on the bottom are pressure treated, but the ones on the inside are just like spruce, I guess, or whatever. And but we'll say, you know, we'll estimate those about $3 a piece. At 4 of them, that's like 12 bucks. So figure $62 plus some brad nails and screws. You know, we'll put that up maybe 70 bucks for hardware. And then depending on what you decide to do with the top, like I said, I just had the shingles, these shingles laying around. I mean, I'll probably end up spending 5 to 10 bucks on a piece of drip edge. It's going to be more than what I need for that. But you know, a doghouse of this size to purchase at a big box store like Lowe's or something like that, I mean, I think at minimum, I mean, I've seen them as high as, you know, comparable size to this, as high as like $180. I would say at minimum you're probably going to spend, you know, probably at least $100, you know, so anywhere from $100 to $180. And this was basically built for, you know, I mean, if you, like I said, factor in all the hardware, the screws and stuff too, you know, maybe 70 bucks, I think. And so that's not a bad deal. And it's definitely it definitely should hold up. I mean, there's plenty of space in there for the dog. And you know, and I did this myself. So if you found this information useful and you enjoy content like this, then please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you for your time.